gonna shout till we're 6 feet over. We're gonna demonstrate something unusual. Come on, do that proclamation with us. Everybody do it, let's go. We're gonna turn the world upside down. We're gonna turn these people right side up. We're gonna shout until we're 6 feet over. We're gonna demonstrate something unusual. Come on! Something unusual.
Partnerships are vital to our global outreach, enabling us to take the love and hope of Jesus Christ to those who need it most. Our Boots on the Ground Partnership Program physically ministers to those in desperate situations all over the world. The Israel Partnership furthers Kim's legacy of outreach to Israel and Jewish people worldwide. We invite you to become a partner today. Join us today and be part of a community that inspires hope, brings restoration to life, and often healing from the past. Together, we can make a difference, and we thank you for your ongoing support.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Sunday. I hope we all had a good time at church this morning. For those who went to church this morning, I hope you had a good time. I hope you were blessed. Who do we have joining us today? I'm going to look here on YouTube. Alabama, Silicon Valley, California. Virginia. Is it cold and rainy in Alabama? I'm in Tennessee. It's not raining, but it's not so bad. Now, did you guys see the groundhog? Did not see his shadow, so it looks like we're going to have an early spring, which I'm very happy about that. I love winter. I'm a winter person, and I really do enjoy winter. Oh, Katie from Scotland, hi. I do enjoy winter, but I'm ready for spring. I'm ready. It feels right this year. And we've got some people joining us over here on Rumble. Hi, everybody on Rumble. Kansas, Indiana, Michigan. Wonderful. It's so great. Now, my sister Jacqueline should be hopping on in the chat. I believe she will be in the YouTube chat today. So let's have a look for Jacquelina. If she's around, she is not here with me. That's why my hair is braided today. I miss my sister. So today we had quite a long session last week with Trey Smith. But what a response we got on YouTube. I was quite surprised. We went over 100,000 views. We're at 108,000 last time I looked, which is quite good for our YouTube channel considering we're usually throttled. But I do not monetize these. So we don't get ad revenue. I do this for free. So if you guys, there's Jacquelina. Hi, Jack. Let's see, Georgia, Salem, Ohio. Winter and cold gets old. It does. And you know what? You guys know my central heat broke the 1 week. All winter long, it's been very mild. And the 1 week it got really cold and we had that snowstorm is the week my central heat broke. Oh, from Joyburg, South Africa. Lovely. AA Strumming. Hello, Strumming. I'm looking over at Rumble. Okay, so the groundhog. Someone's saying that crazy groundhog is from my state. Okay, so the groundhog. Now, this is the new groundhog, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong here. But I believe that after that Siberian front last year, so not this winter, but the 2023 winter, 2022 winter, that one, he died. So they had to replace him with a new groundhog, and the new groundhog has good news for us this time around. Salem, Ohio. Virginia waiting for snow. Miami. Now, I was actually just talking to someone about the humidity in Miami and how you guys all know with my hair, there's no way I could live somewhere. Look, here in Tennessee, it gets really humid, and usually all summer long, my hair is just braided. So when you start going to places like Miami or in Louisiana, man, that humidity. Oh, I need to give a shout out. Shout out to our friend Corey. Corey's driving home right now, and he spent the weekend with us at my house. And we've got a lot of South Africans. Hello. And so I just wanted to say hi to Corey. He's a friend of ours from Louisiana, speaking of. And he's driving home right now. He spent the weekend with us and went caving with my husband. They went into a cave deep in the earth. So just wanted to say hi to him because we had a good time. He cooked for us some good Louisiana food. He came in town and cooked for us, and it was a lovely time. But I'll tell you, I can't do anything with my hair when I'm in Louisiana. Okay, so Punxsutawney, that's how you say it, Punxsutawney Phil. Yeah, they've replaced him obviously more than once, but I know he died last year, and it was like we had the Siberian front, and it was so cold. That I don't know if everybody watches the weather the way I do, but it was so cold, and we were just looking to see, okay, what's going to happen with the groundhog, and he died, and I was like, my goodness, this is real cold. And we did have a longer winter then, but this year's been more mild, and that's. Oh, you guys seeing my Johnny Cash T-shirt? Is this better than Victoria's Secret? I think it is. Sorry, I did get into a little bit of trouble with some people there for wearing that Victoria's Secret. They didn't like it. Listen, I didn't. That is an old sweatshirt. It's very old. I've had that for years, and I just wanted to wear red, and I was cold, and I threw it on and didn't think. And I'm really not trying to rep for them. I don't like their clothes anymore. I just don't like their clothes anymore. You know, about a decade ago, I used to every year when they would come out with new things, I would get a hoodie or something, and I would collect them because they were comfortable clothes. I know Denise Maples is saying Arizona weather. Oh, I can show this. Here we go. Arizona weather is perfect. Little to no. I know, because it's dry. And what happens here in Tennessee is that I'm trying to. I think I'm putting. Yeah, there we go. What happens in Tennessee is that it will be humid like that in the summer, but then as soon as fall comes, that humidity goes away, and then it's dry for a while through the winter. Even though it rains, that humidity isn't in the air; it kind of dries, and so then, see my braids. Dave Whalen was talking about the braids here. That's what I did today, but not because of humidity. Karen's dog's name is Cash. Yeah, I like Johnny Cash. I do like him. So I put that T-shirt on this morning, and I thought, better pay attention to what I'm wearing. And most of the time, oh my goodness, you guys are so funny over there talking about the groundhog in Rumble. Okay, so let's get to it. I wanted to go through a couple of things today. Let me do some stuff here first. I have a little thing that I need to put at the bottom. There we go. And I have to do this. There. Okay. Now, I wanted to share a few things with you. Did you guys hear about Tucker Carlson is possibly going to interview Vladimir Putin? Did we hear this? I'm going to open that chat back up and just scroll down. Okay. I want to see what you guys have to say about that. So, yes, Tucker Carlson interviewing Vladimir Putin. And of course, you guys, anybody who knows anything about my dad knows how much he prophesied about Putin. And so, that, man, things have gotten so confusing, it gets really difficult. And again, I've been talking about this all weekend about how this is really a war on the mind of the American people, everything that's going on. So you just never know. But you know what my take on this is? Sorry, I'm messing with this mic. My take on this is this. I know Putin's a bad guy, but I still want to hear what he has to say. Like, if Tucker has questions for him, I want to hear and I want to decide. I don't want other people telling me what to think or what's going on. Like, if there's a chance where someone can actually, if someone said to me, Donna, you can go talk to Vladimir Putin, do you think I'm going to say no? I am going to say yes to that. I'm going to have a conversation. I may not agree with him or like him. I may know exactly who he is, but I want to know what he thinks. I want to be able to ask him some questions and hear, discern for myself. And I think, we've been robbed of the ability to do that because of how much manipulation goes on about the information that we receive. Tucker's career might be better after Fox because he isn't. Yeah, that's right. I think that's why he's able to do this. And I want it, and again, I'm not a fan of Putin, but no matter who it is, like Putin is a major player in what's going on in the world right now, and I think we should hear from him, good or bad. We should be able to discern for ourselves. And so I do not think and something that's been pointed out quite a bit is that, Barbara Walters interviewed him and Fidel Castro, and nobody called her a traitor to her country. I mean, I think with this war going on, don't we need some journalists going over there and asking him some questions? And think whatever you want to think, but we want to see. It's just like when CNN tells you, oh, we're not going to play Donald Trump's speech because he's such a liar. We'll just tell you. No, play his speech. We're adults. So I'm all for him interviewing Putin. You guys, a lot of people keep saying Tucker for VP. I don't think he would. I don't think he should. I mean, hey, I don't know. Maybe. I struggle to see that, though. Vivek as well. I like Vivek, and I think there could be a place for Vivek. But I don't know. I don't know. And I don't have clarity within what my dad prophesied. I know that much. So anyway, I'm going to pull up my Twitter, and we'll go through this a little bit. And then I'm going to look at emails as well. I wanted to have a look at some emails because some people wrote in. And you guys have been writing in, and I've been getting your questions. I'm gathering together questions that I could ask to General Flynn and Roger Stone because I'm going to have both of them on in the coming months. And so I want to prepare and get ready for that. And so if you have questions, then I can have a list of questions and I can say, okay, these are the questions that, we want to ask or whatever, however we do it. So please do keep sending those questions in, and you can send them to, I'm looking for the email. I mean, the email address here where you can send those. It's this. Okay, so email codebreakers@houseofdestiny.org. And if you have a question for General Flynn or Roger Stone, just, email me and you can type it in there. It is easier for me to follow, to keep them in arranged and organized than on a comment thread in here, because these comment threads can get quite long. So better to email me at that email address there at the bottom of the screen. And just keep doing that. If you think of something, maybe you don't think of anything now, anytime before, just say Roger Stone or General Flynn or both questions. Another announcement I have, quickly before I go to my Twitter, is Amanda Grace will be joining us next Sunday. Because we had a good discussion last week with Trey Smith about the Esther prophecy. We went through that and looked at that, and that was really good. And we had such, again, like I said, such a good response. And many people, I realized you got to see Trey Smith in a setting that was more relaxed. And so he could just talk to you and have a conversation and just share with you just, how he's been feeling about certain things. And like I've said so many times, he has a really good, a really different perspective. So sometimes he will notice things that regular people wouldn't notice. You guys are asking about Navarro. I actually, man, so much. I would like to interview him as well, but I have not been able to arrange that. So I'm working on it. But I do have confirmed Amanda Grace for next Sunday, again, because, well, there's a reason, is that the Esther prophecy like the tape with Carrie Lake was released last week, and so we looked at the Esther prophecy. Well, in about the same time period, in the past week or two, Amanda rescued a bird, a little Quaker parrot, and she named him Mordecai. And I thought, how prophetic! It's just one of those little prophetic moments. It's just sort of like my dad or Mark Sharona, Prophet Mark Sharona, Bishop, Mark Sharona, would call it synchronicity. Actually, that happened to me yesterday. My little boy has been listening to, it's a little kid's song. Well, it's not a kid's song. It's actually an old spiritual, a hymn that was sung by the slaves called Dry Bones. And my little boy has been watching, it's called Dem Bones, and it's like a cartoon thing. And they sing, the hip bones connected to the backbone, or however it goes. And hear the word of the Lord. So I'm quite happy he's singing that little song. So we're sitting yesterday at my dad's piano. I have my dad's piano, the one he used to have at the den, the black one, is in the entrance of my house. And so my little boy, he's been, he went on a field trip to see the symphony in Nashville last week. So he's been very interested in musical instruments all of a sudden, and violins and maracas, and he's learning about all the different instruments. And this is the song he keeps wanting to sing. And that song's based on Ezekiel 37, the dry bones. So I sat down at the piano and I thought, okay, well, I can figure this out. So I sat there and I listened to it and I figured out the melody and what key that they had it on the, for the kids' song, what key it was in. And I was playing it for him on the piano. And he was having a great time. We're sitting there singing the old song, and the doorbell rings, and it's my brother Jacob, and Jacob plays the drums. And so he walked in right at the right moment. And so we're singing the song. We got the maracas. I'm at the piano. My son's singing. So we hand Jacob the maracas. He starts doing a little bit of rhythm, and we had a little moment there. And then Jacob and I got up and we went and sat down inside in the living room, and we had the TV on, and I was like, oh, you got to see these prophecies about dad, and that dad gave about the Malaysian jet. Now, you remember, we've been talking about the Malaysian jet. I have an announcement about that too. So the Malaysian jet, yeah, Tommy Sparks, them bones. I'll play you something in a minute of that I posted on Twitter. So we sit down and I'm like, oh, you have to see this. So I have both of the prophecies about the Malaysian jet are in the Israel Prophecies Part 1 that we released last October. So I pulled that video up from YouTube or Rumble, I think it was Rumble, and showed it to him because I wanted him to watch the Malaysian prophecies again. And we had used the old. It was a piece that my dad had the editors edit together, quoting that verse from Ezekiel 37, dry bones. And so that was part of the prophetic rewind that week. It was the intro. I inserted that in there just to keep with the theme of Israel. And that was a huge, that's when my dad's shouting, Israel is forever. So I put that in there. But within there is that verse quoted. And so we sit down, I put it on, and wherever it was left at in the history, the memory in the app, I pushed it to push play, and it was quoting that exact scripture verse. So there's another synchronicity. So there's quite a few of these going on. And, I see them as like little bells, like a ding, 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 like God saying, hey, here it is, pay attention. And so that song keeps coming up. I'm going to figure out what to do. I'll try to come up with little ideas of things you could do, creative little things we could do with it. But it was such a precious little moment with my brother and my son at my dad's piano, and that verse. So I'm going to share my Twitter now. Let's go in. All right. We're going to go there. Here we go. And there. Okay. All right. So here's my Twitter page. We're starting with Stalin today. The reason I reposted this one is because if you have a look, Joseph Stalin was once a hip intellectual, atheist, and Democrat socialist that led protests against the rich and powerful, rose to power promising equality, then took over private industry, leading to mass poverty and famine, and killed, it says 20 million, but it's actually, I believe, closer to 50 million of his own people. But look at him then. You wouldn't have thought. Oh, I do have a comment up, don't I? How do I? I don't know how to get rid of it. Oh, I didn't want to. It's a pretty, it's a good one. I got rid of it. I did it. Okay, so thought that was interesting though, because if you look at him there, you wouldn't think. You just never know. But this right here. So, okay, everybody, if you didn't see Prophetic Rewind this past Monday, I posted where my dad prophesied about the border. I might even be able to pull it up a little bit. I don't know yet, but I did post that. So if you haven't seen Prophetic Rewind from this past Monday, go and watch it. You can go to the House of Destiny Network. So you can go to, can they still use Kim.tv, right? You can actually just go straight to Kim.tv, or you can go to our app if you haven't downloaded our app. We have an app. You go to any app store and type in House of Destiny, and you'll see our app there, and you can watch everything on that app. So if you're using your phone, it's actually easier that way. Also easier to navigate through, but it is on social media as well. So do have a look at Prophetic Rewind from last week about the border. So now I've seen this little clip a couple of times. But listen to what this guy's saying here. Let me make this bigger.
At the moment,
It's terrible.
far.
So
If I was a governor here, I would be afraid, because all of these people in China, military age, India, military age, even myself, I'm military age. And there's a question is coming up in here. One scary question. If an incident between US and China occur in Taiwan, what these people do? Or they come aside of US, or they take China's side? Don't know, and no one's know.
What was the route you took from
I,
Iran?
Come to Turkey, and Turkey to Mexico, Mexico to United
So
States.
what would prevent a terrorist from doing the same thing?
Nothing. Exactly nothing.
That's scary.
Real scary. I'm telling you, friend, if you see the Europe, the people, politician in Europe is sleeping out. Well, like, don't be offended, but Joe Biden is sleeping at the moment.
He's terrible.
It's far more than terrible. Not for US, for the all of the war. Just look at the world. We have 3 war. We have sanction. We had a recession in the entire planet. Everyone say I'm wrong, but if you like it or not, if a recession come in US, there will like a pandemic comes in all the countries, and Joe Biden is doing this. It's not good.
So Trump was better. You want Trump back in office?
Despite that they fears us, if you come, Trump is back, you will be deported. Yes, I want Trump back.
Wow, that's a powerful statement.
Despite that, because he just create. We have a sentence in our country. That means a lot for this moment. We say, I said in Persian, then I will rephrase it in English for you. We say, آنکه با مادر خود زنا کند با دیگران چه ها کند. That means if someone betray his family and his mother, just think about that, what he can do with the others.
Yeah, if he doesn't respect them, how will he respect
Joe
you?
Biden don't respect the US.
Wow.
That's
Right. So, wow. Try to minimize that quickly. So, bringing this up because, you know, we've got what my dad's prophesied, and we know that. But then at the same time, we're in this moment right now. And what is this border thing about? You know, it seems so irresponsible. I'm going to have her open the chats back up here. I want to see what you guys are saying. Just reading your comments quickly. Okay. So you have my dad prophesying about the border, you know, but my dad was also seeing the World Economic Forum, the Fourth Reich, globalism, a number of things. So we know all that. But then here we are in the moment, and we're going through this and we're looking. And it's like, this is not good for the people who are coming across the border. So you have your bad actors. You know, you've got obviously terrorists, military-aged men, like he said, whose loyalty, when it came down to the bottom line, is not going to be to America. But amidst them, you do have families, and this is how they get you. See, this is how they get people. Oh, you don't care about those poor families in those terrible countries, and they just need help. And it's like, of course we do. Do you think we'd want people to suffer, innocent? That's not what this is about. And the way in which they are doing things at the border, I would encourage you to go look around and watch video footage, if you can find it, of people who have filmed that route. Bald and Bankrupt is one you can watch. He's a YouTuber, and he is like does like a travel channel. It's not a Christian thing or anything like that. He just has a travel channel, and I happen to watch it. And he went that route through the Darien Gap, which is very dangerous. And he was seeing, he saw a mother and child dead on the side of the road, people dead on the side of the road, people murdered, raped, robbed. It is dangerous. And this is not good for any of the people that are coming across. These are desperate people that they're taking advantage of. I suspect, I mean, we know about in New York just recently. I was watching video of a guy was walking around asking some of the migrants he was seeing there outside the Renaissance Hotel, staying there for, Bald and Bankrupt, Lisa Louise, that's his name. He's a British man, and he makes travel videos on YouTube. But he did this one on the border that was very good. And one thing you'll notice also when you're watching his video is at some point he has to get a wristband, and the wristband it indicates to the cartel that they're cool to go through, so the cartel will let them pass. And the wristband was given to them by someone with the government over there. I forget which country they were in, where the Darien Gap, which country it's in, but it's South America. And there it is, a government person giving them wristbands so that the cartels will clear them to pass. And then you see along the way how difficult it is. So, you know, you have desperate people in countries like Venezuela or Mexico, or maybe there's just somebody here's a chance I can get into America. Trust me, there are people still doing that. And, you know, it's like, if you are against what they're doing and how they're handling things at the border, it doesn't mean you don't care about families or you don't want people to be able to come to America. But this of just opening it up and just letting them in, it goes back to what concerns me. And that is, you know, we know that the government is corrupt. We know now about the Uniparty. We know these people who we have allowed to be in charge. Have a lot of them, the majority of them have infiltrated, are corrupt, and have been bought, blackmailed, and things like that. And so you'll notice sometimes people, especially politicians, but entertainers and influencers too, people will start acting crazy, and you're saying, why is this person so? It's probably because they're being blackmailed. We saw in the video footage of Carrie Lake last week, that guy trying to, you know, get her to, so you know that's going on. She has that on tape. Can you imagine, you know, worse, people who said yes, or people who took money. Like, who took money? So when you start to think about it in those terms, it's not like, oh, we don't want. I'm an immigrant. I am an immigrant. I was born in Durban, South Africa in 1979, and I moved to America with my family. It was like 1992, 93. I was about 12 or 13 years old. But we did it legally. We followed the rule. It took more than 15 years of having a green card, proving certain things, abiding by certain things. It was, and it was our honor to do it because we wanted to be American. We love this country. We wanted to be American. We came out of South Africa. God called my dad to be a prophet to America at a time when everybody was going out all over the world. God sent my dad here, and this is why, because God knew we were going to need to have a little bit of hope along the way. Okay, so something I've done today actually is there's going to be quite a few animal videos, just because it was so heavy last week, and all week long I've kind of just had a heaviness on me. So have a look at him. Isn't he cute? Looks like he's a Belgian Malinois, I think. And we had one of those years ago, Henry. And if any of you remember Senator Mike Krotz, who passed away a couple of years back, a dear friend of my family, we had a Belgian Malinois named Henry, and turned out we didn't have enough for him to do, and he was pretty bored. And these are dogs that are highly active, that need a job to do, really. And so poor old Henry was getting fat and bored, and so we decided to let him go and live with Senator Krotz and his son Caleb. And Caleb ended up making him he worked with the police, and then during the Haitian earthquake, he was out helping find survivors, and he ended up, when Henry died, was buried with the American flag with honors, like a soldier. He was, yes. So that story ended very well. But let me just tell you what an incredible animal Henry was. I mean, there were commands that we would give him. One of them was Nospo. I remember that. And that meant he would come and stand to your side, on your left side. And if you stepped forward, he stepped forward. If you stepped backwards, he would step backwards. And you could point to anything and say, "Hup," and he would jump on it. So, and we were traveling with him once, and we had him in a hotel, like a Motel 6, and we had him jumping on a table, on the top of the couch, like all over. He was just the most fun dog, just such an awesome animal, and I'm proud to have known him. But anyway, this dog looks a little bit like him, and he's so cute. So I'm going to be doing this today because we need a little relief. Things have gotten so, I don't know if you guys feel it this week, but I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. A lot of people keep saying that to me. Thank you for asking that question and reminding me, because you did remind me. Yeah, a lot of people have said, could it be Melania? Yes, it could be anybody. I am not saying that Kari Lake is the Esther. I am just, because I don't want to announce who I think the Esther is anymore. So I've been doing it this way. We have to cover the prophecy. We're in the moment. We have to cover it. But I've made a mistake before with that. And I definitely got the comments, people reminding me that I've been mistaken before. People are so sensitive about this Esther prophecy. What is up with you guys? Why is it the Esther prophecy always? Look how many views we got on that video because we talked about the Esther prophecy. It really has an impact on a lot of people. Some people get mad. Please don't get mad. I am not the announcer of prophecies fulfilled. That's not what I'm trying to do here. And I'm leaving the video of the dog up just because he's so cute. Just leave him there. He's so adorable. I love him. If he was in front of me, I would already be cuddling and kissing him. But you know what? It could be Melania. The thing that always gets me with the Esther prophecy, and this is why I look at Kari Lake, and again, I'm not sure, but I look at her and I see where she is. She's in a border state. And one in particular thing that he prophesied about the Esther was that cartels would be afraid of a woman, right? In order for cartels that are now actually controlling our governments, if you hadn't kind of come to that, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. you would have to be in a powerful position, a position to be able to actually do something. And so if now for cartels to be afraid of a woman, and then I look at Kari Lake in Arizona, which is a border state, which is also where my dad prophesied Trump's 2 terms from, and both Trump and Kari Lake have had an election stolen from them, and she emerged in 2022, which is exactly in the middle of Trump's 2 terms. So if you hear my dad in the prophecy, he says, in the middle of the presidency, he's talking about the restoration of America. Now, when he was talking about the restoration of America, we had just been under 8 years of Obama, and everybody was thinking, oh, it's now. No, because we didn't even know what was coming. My dad knew, but we certainly did not know how insane this was going to get. So when you hear him prophesying about the restoration, now we know what the restoration means. Like, look at America now. We definitely are going to need some restoration. So anyway, I'm looking at the prophecy. Now, that's where it gets a little weird for me, because he says she would emerge at the middle of the presidency, and then he says during the restoration of America, but that doesn't necessarily mean that was happening in 2022. He's just saying she emerges in the middle, and then during the restoration of America, this is what's going to happen. And so that's what someone's asking if Jacqueline is. What are you saying? Now I'm going to have to scroll here. Jacqueline Clement, are you the one talking? Where are you, Jackie? Are you talking? I'm looking to see. Ivanka Trump. You were the one telling me about the Ivanka Trump. Not Ivanka, which is the mother? I always get that mixed up. Ivana is the mother. Let me look at the comments. Where's my ladies? You guys all saw First Wives Club. Where's my 90s women? You're all gonna know that movie. Don't get everything. Well, they ended up being good friends at the end. Once that swept over.
I just want to say about the Esther prophecy. Some people are commenting, yes, the Esther anointing is on people, but Kim was talking about a specific person at that moment, not a whole lot of people.
But there is more to it, like you're saying, the anointing being on the people, because it's sort of layered with meaning, and this happens in the Bible, and I've seen it happening in prophecy as well. Is that things can have a depth to the meaning and mean a lot more. So he's seeing this. Now think of the story of Esther. I went and read it again. I've actually read it a few times this week. I keep going back, and it's so interesting how Haman is hung on the gallows that he built or had built for Mordecai, and the way that all turned out. And I think there's something very like the trap that they set for us, they will cause their own demise, is kind of the point. So oftentimes, and I know this happens with my dad. I know I've seen it happen with Amanda Grace too, is that they will be, I know that with my dad, he would be prophesying about something in particular. And hold on, I'm getting distracted. Not Laura Logan. I don't think so. I love her. She's South African, just like me. So I do love her. And she has just been great. She's been on the Reawaken America tour as well. Melania doesn't really she has beautiful eyes, but they're not big and round. But how big and how round are the eyes going to be? We can't base it too much on that. The cartels. Yeah, they are distinguishing. Should I bring myself? I've still got the dog on the screen. I'm leaving him there. He's so cute. I love him.
That we have to look out for. It's not just her eyes. It's also, there's more to it. It's deeper than that.
Here's someone saying something very interesting here on Rumble. Tucker has a talk with a biologist friend of Michael Yon. They traveled the Gap, the Dorian Gap, and found, I haven't seen this yet, I need to watch it, the hidden Chinese invasion camps apart from the migrants. You see, we're hearing a lot of this stuff. So Why is a very good question. Hang on, but we've got a couple of topics going all at once now. So we've got Ivana. Okay, I don't think the Esther obviously is not Ivana. She's gone to heaven.
It's not Diana.
It's not Diana. You guys, Diana's not alive. And oh, thank you for bringing that up. Stay here. Bring a chair. You're probably going to stay there. For anybody who was out there, I don't know if I addressed this last week, but I'm doing it now. Anybody out there trying to say that my dad is still alive, number one, he is not. For anybody who knew my dad for 5 minutes would know he would not be able to keep his mouth shut through any of this, not even under the threat of death. So I was with him. My father died in my arms on November 23rd of 2016. It was one of the worst moments of my life. I'll never forget it. So, oh, Kevin Cash. Wait, what? Somebody gave a super chat. I didn't realize until recently I can actually show it. Thank you for the super chat. Kevin Cash is in trouble. What's your best email? Oh, Code Breakers. Here, I'll put it back up. I had it up a little while ago. Put that back up for you. That's it. There's my email. You can email me there anytime. I'm not going to forget Rumble. Now, is anything happening now? The X comments, the Twitter comments, are they going to show here? Yeah, we haven't been. Well, because nobody's really watching us on Twitter yet. We haven't. I keep calling it Twitter. It's X. Eric Trump 2030. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm not trying to prophesy right now, but okay. I was telling you about my dad. So, he's also not JFK Jr. Somebody sent this to me, and this has been a rumor that's been going around. Let me clear this up right now. My dad is not. How are they even spinning this now? JFK Jr. and didn't die, and he's actually JFK Jr. Stop. You people need to stop with this, okay? Because it's causing more confusion. Like there's good and bad to this, but we can't let ourselves get pulled in all directions. You know what? It's so difficult. Oh, Summer Seahorse, thank you for your super chat. Hippo character repeatedly points to the streamer while chanting "Get good." Okay, $4.99. Thank you very much for that. But yes, please don't. My dad's. I know a lot of you are laughing in the chat here because you're like, how could people even put? They don't even look alike just because they both have dark hair and they both died. All the time. I'm tired of it. My dad died, you guys. Somebody asked my mom in the grocery store the other day, and she had to say, no, that is not true. She had to be quite blunt. And she had to say, I saw. No, my dad's not in protective custody because we would also be in protective custody with him. We wouldn't be here doing this. You wouldn't be seeing us at all. We would have all disappeared with him. There's no way I'm sticking around here and letting him go. You people didn't know anything about me before my dad died, so it would have been easy for us to just slip away. So no, my dad did die, and he was not JFK Jr. And whether or not JFK Jr. is alive, I don't know. I've tried to ask. I never can get a clear answer. There's a lot of mystery. Well, you know what I did do? Do I just turn this off if I want to? Oh, I'll leave him there. He's so cute. He's so cute. I love him. I know. That's why I'm thinking I should probably make myself bigger, but he's so cute. He look a lot better than me. Let me scroll on my Twitter page here. Let's keep going. But just so you know, and I'm sorry if I'm being a bit blunt about it, but it just, I lost my dad. I miss him. He's not alive, you guys.
We wish we could say he was hidden. We wish.
But like I said, if he was hidden, I'd be hidden with him.
But he wouldn't even be quiet.
You could not have shut my dad up. Anybody who knows my dad knows this. Making sure he's.
Remember, he was forced to.
We would have to force him to stop working.
And he still had his piano. He was still playing, and he was still calling everybody to come meet him.
Yes, he was having people coming over. Are you talking about when the last vacation?
Yes, when they forced him to take
Man, that makes me sad. That was the last vacation. Here's another Belgian Malinois. You guys can look at him now. Oh, isn't he good? Look at that. So sorry, I just love these dogs. I just think they're so awesome. I should actually show you guys my dogs, both of my dogs. My Gumbo was bad this weekend. Like I told you in the beginning, I said hi to our friend Corey. He's driving home. He's listening right now. Gumbo is my French bulldog, and I named him Gumbo because I wanted to give him a French name. And he's all gray with yellow eyes. He's the most beautiful, most adorable little dog. But he is so bad. Lou's laughing over there.
You were going to call him the dog, remember?
Le Dog. We were trying to think of a name for him. We've had him since 2018. That's when I got him. And we Le Dog was, I think it technically still is Le Dog, Gumbo Le Dog, something like that. My husband knows. But the joke has been, look at this Belgian. You see this dog? He's incredible. Yeah, Gumbo ain't doing that, you guys. He's misbehaving. He's actually become aggressive. And I had to keep him away from our guest this weekend because he was just sleeping on our couch. And normally I can just have the dogs, around and everything's fine. But Gumbo has just lately been aggressive when new people are coming over. So I think I'm not socializing the dog enough. But he was barking, and I was trying to say, stop, what are you doing? And so anybody with any dog training advice for a stubborn French bulldog, I'm open. Because here's the thing, I'm actually really good at training dogs. I raised boxers for years. And a boxer is a very high energy, bully breed, tendency for aggression. And I was really able to figure it out. A lot of times you just need to get their energy out, walk them together. There's certain things, but those things are not working with Gumbo. And so I'm going to have to seek professional help because I don't want him biting anybody because he's so cute, my little Gumb. So yes, you will see lots of animals today. And anyway, I had a bit of a difficult time this weekend with him. We're just speaking of dogs, and so I brought up my little Gumby. I'll see if I can find a picture and show you before the end. I thought this was so cool. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, if you don't, it's at Donna Petra. I can actually pull that up quickly. Can I? I think I can. Yeah, there it is. That's it's not Twitter anymore, Donna. It's X. So that's how you follow me. And I just posted this morning because I thought, oh, this is something I would want to share with you guys. So in 1962, C.S. Lewis was asked what books most influenced him, both as a writer and in his philosophy of life. And he responded with a list of 10 books. And then you can go through, if you click on the post, it's a thread, and you can scroll down, and it lists the top 10 books that C.S. Lewis read, or his recommended reading list. So listen, I'm an English literature major and I love to read, and I loved C.S. Lewis. So did my dad. So it was so cool. So if you are not following me on X, I'm going to say the right thing, please do, because you can get little things like that. Did you guys see? I'm not going to play this because Michael Rappaport has a potty mouth, and I'm actually I don't even think it's got captions. I'm going to pass him. So it's very interesting, though, that Michael Rappaport he's getting mad and he's saying, I'm going to have to vote. I might have to vote Donald Trump. And remember how much he hated Donald Trump, the terrible names he calls him. He still calls him those names, but he's saying, I can't take it anymore. I'm going to have to vote. See, that's what we're going to start to see. Mm-hmm. Snoop Dogg just came out last week after he had made that music video after the 2016 election where he was shooting Donald Trump in the music video. But then you got Ann Coulter this week calling for his assassination. Ann Coulter calling for Donald Trump's assassination. She says it's not okay. Nobody calling for anybody to die is okay. We don't want that. That is the opposite of anything. Like, you don't like him, fine. The worst case scenario, Trump is president for 4 years. He's not going to do any damage. We know that. But I'm talking about the people who don't like him and don't want him there. It's like, do you see what's happened in the last 4 years? Like, maybe just. The eating of the pudding. You see, I always said the proof is in the pudding, but it's actually in the eating of the pudding.
So we've had proof about Trump and we've had proof about this administration.
Yes.
What are you going to choose?
Yes.
It's easy as that.
Okay, we're going to take an animal break, and I'm making this big because you got to hear this, you guys. It's a baby bear.
That means I'm doing something right.
Do you hear that? It's like when a cat purrs.
The cutest sound.
I love him. Oh, I want my own.
But Zach,
I want my own bear. I'll never be able to have one. Don't worry. I just, I love bears. I love bears and lions. I think they're just so adorable, and I wish they didn't want to eat me because I just want to cuddle them. I want to be friends. I will give you delicious food.
The Republican
Let's have a
Party
look at this
under
now.
Trump has become a tremendous success.
Are you going to be able to flip blue states like in New York and in New Jersey? There's a
I
rumor
think
you're going to
so.
do a rally in the South Bronx.
I think so, yeah. I think I will do that. And I
Then
think
when are you
I'll-
gonna do that?
I think I'll do one maybe at Madison Square Garden, too. I think we have a chance. New York has changed a lot in the last 2 years. We have migrants all over the street. They're living on Madison Avenue. I mean, nobody can believe what's happened to New York. The people of New York are angry. People that would have never voted for me because I'm a Republican. I mean, they're Democrats. Their parents would they vote for Democrats. I think they're going to vote for me. So I think we're going to give New York a heavy shot. They're very unhappy in New York, what's happening. And they're unhappy with the crime. You take a look at the crime in New York, it's at record levels. The other thing is, and very importantly, New Jersey. I think New Jersey can be flipped. I think that Virginia can be flipped.
Yes.
I think that New Mexico can be
They're
flipped.
already
and I think
flipped.
Minnesota can be flipped. And I'm not even sure that everything can't be flipped.
Yep. He's right. So you hear that? And now he's talking about New York. Maria Bartiromo did an interview with him. I think it was yesterday or today. Today. It was this. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I watched that. Now this is Laura Loomer that I reposted. She's following me. I saw on X. She's following me.
I saw on a documentary about New York and about the borders, and they were saying that, I mean, hotels, beautiful hotels that are taking families in. So there's two different types. There's ones that take in families, and if you're a single person that came over the border, you have to go to a different location. And they are allowed to stay there for 30 days.
Mhm.
Then you have to leave. And they're saying they've been promised jobs, be given work cards. They've been promised for the kids to school and to, all that.
And
They
medical.
leave in 30 days, and then they're stuck on the streets with kids and all this stuff. And they're saying that why did they come? And it's cold.
And they don't know how to live. A lot of these people coming from very tropical climates, not knowing even how to survive in that kind of cold.
About coming here. They're saying, "Oh, we're going to give you all this," and they don't get it.
Well, they are getting quite a bit of it because you saw the New Yorkers. I don't know if you guys saw how many New Yorkers were in the news this week. That the one guy was screaming outside the homeless shelter saying, "I am an American. I was born in this country. I work a 40-hour job and I can't afford for a place to live because of this economy. So can you at least let me stay in the shelter?" No, I can't stay in the shelter because all of the shelters are full. And the schools, you saw the moms outside the schools in New York. Now, something else that I saw this week was there was a guy walking around interviewing these people. And the one guy, he had a translator. And the guy said they've been staying at the Roosevelt Hotel for the last 7 months for free. They're trashing that hotel, by the way. That's in New York. That they get fed meals, 3 meals a day. They have to go, and then what they do is they get all these benefits, medical benefits, promises of jobs, whatever, but they have to go in every, I think it's 30 to 60 days and then reapply. So you see these huge lines around, and then there's more and more of them coming in, and the people are like, whoa, wait a minute.
They also put them on curfew. So now the only jobs that these fathers can get is deliveries, like delivering food.
Mhm.
So they have to go, but they have to be back by 8 p.m. so that they can get in. They're locked outside till the morning.
Oh.
So this has just happened in New York where there's restrictions now because they're saying, oh, this is a problem.
Well, they went on and on about being sanctuary cities, and now when they actually are a sanctuary city, the people, because there was a bunch of politicians that have got fringe groups all worked up, and everybody highlights that on the news, and they say, oh, everybody thinks that, but that's not what the majority of people are thinking. And that's a point. There's a point I want to make here is that if you look at the things my dad prophesied about, he would name particular leaders, for instance, Putin. But when he would be prophesying about countries, oftentimes you can hear it is for, like, it's God's concern for the people of those countries, because they're still his people. There's Christians all over the world in all these countries. And my dad saw, and he actually named numerous times, named the countries, Poland and Germany and France and Italy, at Canada. You see people rising up. So he saw that the people, especially in France, he saw the rise of the Fourth Reich and how the people would rise up. It would be the people that would rise up against it. And so what are we seeing happen over there now? All the farmers, and nobody protests like the French. I can tell you, nobody can protest like them. They're so creative. But my dad prophesied this would happen, and it would be the unity of the people against this corrupted small group that have taken control. It's temporary. We know that because of just the fact that my dad saw the fall, the rise and then fall of the Fourth Reich. That's the World Economic Forum and the globalists. The whole BRICS nations thing. Those are the giants. But he also saw death to debt. I was watching a thing on debt yesterday, and I kept thinking, he prophesied death to debt. And so much, he was shouted at for years. My husband is an artist. He had him design a logo. Was putting it on stuff, like imprinting it in everybody's minds. Death to debt, death to debt. And so what is that actually? There we go to the deeper meaning of things now. It doesn't mean, oh, you're going to pay off your debt. I think it means much more. I think because we are seeing a complete change in our monetary system, how it is working now that we have digital currencies. We can see the evil that can be done with it, because that certainly happened very quickly, didn't it? What's that guy's name? The young kid with the curly hair. My husband was here. He would know. FTX, the cryptocurrency and all the money that they threw into that election. I've pulled this video up because you see this. This is, here we go. I told you we were going to go back and forth between news and animals today. Look at this. I posted there. You can see I wrote, I do this to my cat. And I do this to my cat. Do you want to see my hand? Look at my hand. Where's the camera? You see all the scratches on my hand? That's from me doing that with my little house cat. So I can't imagine what goes on with this one. But I do that with my cat. My cat's quick, though. And he's figured out how to get me. He scratched me a few times this week. Because every time he falls asleep, I'll go over and I'll push my finger just on the top of his paw. And then he'll get me with the other hand, too. And he'll act like he's sleeping. It's so funny. And my cat's funny. His name's Bartleby. And I rescued him from the pet store. I went in there to get dog food. And there he was, all alone in the adoption area where, you go in the pet store and they have that area sometimes where they'll have cats and animals for adoption. He was all by himself. He has no tail. I said, what is going on with this cat? And they said they found him by a creek. It's almost been a year. Yeah, no, he's a good cat. But I'd never had a cat before. I still can't get the cat and Gumbo to get along. Gumbo's terrified. Gumbo's the French bulldog I was telling you about earlier. He's terrified of Bartleby. Bartleby's the cat. He's terrified because that cat wants to kill him. Well, he's a wild cat. Bartleby was a feral cat, and they found him by the side of a creek with his tail. Something had bitten his tail. It was infected, and they had to amputate the tail. And they clip the top of the ear when they're feral. So that tells you it was raised in the wild. And so when he came to us, first of all, it's our first time having a cat. Then he comes to us, and he'd never lived in a home before. He'd only been in the shelter. And so he didn't know what a couch was. He didn't know what a bed was. The first time I put him on my bed, he freaked out. He didn't know where he was, jumped off. Now he sleeps in that bed all day. You'll be like, where's the cat? He's in my bed. Loves it now. But he didn't understand any of those things. So it's been very interesting. But yes, he wants to kill Gumbo, the French bulldog.
I was thinking when your dad prophesied about Trump, he said the economy would change
Rapidly. Yes, quickly.
And so
And the new source of energy.
And Trump always, when he speaks, he's talking about the energy that he's going to drill. It's going to be under the
He
ground.
kept saying, "You're walking on it."
We're walking on it. Your
My dad said,
a lot about the energy that will come.
The big E, he called it. Many of you know. I'm not looking. I can't see the comments right now. I need to go back to them. See you in the chat. How you guys going?
Hey, Trump,
Everybody wants to be a cat. You read at the same time as me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, everybody wants to be a cat. Well, I would want to be a cat. Just lay in bed all day. Be lovely. Yes, death to death. People are typing. Sam Bankman-Fried, thank you.
We need to proclaim it. We learned that when your dad prophesies and stuff, we got to pray into what he has said.
Yes.
And what he's prophesied, because it's by our prayer and our unity in that prayer. We agree with one another in unity, and we bring forth that prophetic word. We can't just sit back and say, oh, Kim prophesied this and this. We got to actually be praying into it and say, God, you said on this date that this was happening. We want it. Are you going to do it?
Well, I was talking about Senator Crotts with the dog Henry earlier, and what's interesting there is the story about Senator Crotts. He has passed away now, but we did interview him on our network not long after the 2020 election. He was a senator of Georgia. And the way that he met my parents, this is in the 90s now, my dad prophesied over his wife, who was just happened to be in a church that my dad didn't know who she was, that she was the senator's wife or anything. And he prophesied over her and said that her and her husband would have a son. And not long after he prophesied over her, Senator Crotts had a heart attack and died. And she rushed into the hospital, and he'd been dead for about 30 minutes. And they didn't want to let her in the room because he had just died. And she pushed her way through, and she walked into that room. She picked him up by his feet and started doing exactly what you just said, declaring and proclaiming what was promised. And she said, she lifted up his feet. She said, hey, God, you said I would have a son. What is this? Basically, is what she was doing. And he came back. Yeah. He ended up outliving my dad.
And it's not that God expecting us to remind him. He knows. It's our faith.
Yeah. I mean, he was dead for 30 minutes and came back. That's incredible. Now, that's not always going to happen. You know, everybody's different. And that's the thing. We really have to stop this mentality of this group does this and this group, like women do this, men do this. You know, people of a certain races or religions do this and this and this. Yes, you can generalize lightly. You know, you can do a light generalization of things. But God didn't create a bunch of boring robots. Each and every person is completely unique. We have a unique fingerprint. We have a unique expression. We are not even the same as our parents because we're raised differently and we have different experiences. Nature and nurture is involved. The complexity of it is at a level that only God can understand. And so what happens for one person may not happen for another person. And that's why it's so important for you personally to have that relationship with God, for you personally to understand what the prophetic really means, because just like with the Esther prophecy, you can have an Esther figure, but we are under that anointing. That's what my dad was saying about the King David thing on Donald Trump. That's going to pass on. If you watch February 22nd, 2014, if you watch that whole prophecy from beginning to end, you see that my dad sees a young one amongst them. So you see he's talking about Trump, gold is attached to his name and everything. You know it's Trump. But then he starts to see, and then he saw more later when he prophesied at we put this on Prophetic Rewind, but we rerun sometimes, so maybe we can do that sometime. But when he was in Miami, interesting, it was Miami. He went to Miami Cap. He was a headliner, and the next day he went to, I forget the name of what church he went to, but it was there in Miami, and he prophesied about this young David. So the spirit of King David being in the leader is going to go beyond Trump. So Trump will have, let's say Trump has his term. That's how it's looking to us now. And this is what my dad prophesied 2 terms. So this would be it. And so you think about it that way. It's not just going to end when, you know what I'm saying? Trump is actually the beginning of something and sort of a symbol of something. So you also can't expect Donald Trump to be perfect. God calls people to do things. That doesn't mean everything they do in their life is going to be perfect. It doesn't mean everything they do after they've done that one thing is going to be perfect. Look at Martin Luther. Okay, he nailed the thesis to the wall of the Catholic Church. The thing, and it was because he did that that we can have a Bible and read it for ourselves today. That was a crucial thing that needed to happen, you know. But later on in life, he became very anti-Semitic and very because he couldn't convert the Jews, and he became very frustrated with, well, they were stiff-necked people, are they not? He became very frustrated though, and Hitler actually used some of his ideas. So Martin Luther did a very, very good thing, but not everything he did in his life was good. So you can't expect, when God calls someone to do something, there's a something that needs to be done, taken care of. You can't expect that person to be a perfect Christian. That's why they often compare Trump to Cyrus. And so we need to remember to have that deeper understanding. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. Am I? I don't know if I'm coming out the right way. So anyway, the point was, though, that the spirit of King David, that warrior and the worshiper, and what did King David do? The giant slayer. As a child, he did that. So think about that. And then you see Trump, but then he saw this young one after Trump. And he was amongst them. So he's going to come from this movement. He's going to come from the MAGA movement. And my dad saw him as being small in stature, and not a great orator. They'll even say this man is not speaking enough. That's very interesting. And he said he says it within that's a long prophecy. So I don't always play that whole long part because I don't want people getting confused either. But that part there is, I know it's for after Trump. It's this young one amongst them. And they'll even say this man is not speaking enough. And he said his name may even be David, which I found very interesting. Latino, the first Latino president, I do believe, could be the same guy. And he was in Miami. So we need to pay attention to all of those things. I have not seen that man.
There's a lot of things that happen happening. A lot of times we know, because when I'm editing Prophetic Rewind, we know that your dad will prophesy, and it's a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
But everything you're hearing in that one prophecy is not happening all at once.
Yeah, it's not all coming to pass at the same time. It will come to pass in stages. You know what that reminds me? I'm going to stop sharing this page. And I'm going to go over to what we found on YouTube. So let me see, make sure I can share this properly. Have a look at this. See that? We just found this. When we came in here and logged in to do the show today, we found this video. So I think we're gonna put this. We are actually gonna put this on Prophetic Rewind so you can watch the whole thing. But I'm gonna open it up and just let you hear a second of it. I'll put this up on Prophetic Rewind, so it'll be up tonight, tomorrow morning.
To get saved anyway.
Yeah, watch.
People say this to me in my meetings.
My
They say,
dad,
you know,
19
you don't have enough altar calls. I'm so tired of hearing that because most of them don't bring sinners to get saved anyway. It's never been the mandate. The biblical mandate is to go and tell, to go into the nations. So I believe this is going to be where God's going to invade every powerful system, and He's going to take it from within, and He's going to bring a revival from within those systems.
Woo,
and those kingdoms.
I love it. Okay, so as you can see, I'm very excited about finding that. And I just found that this morning when we got here. And so I'm going to share that on that whole interview. And that's with Paul and Jan Crouch on TBN. And it's, I'm going to let you guys watch it. You just listen to him yourself. And you know that he's in that interview there. I don't know why I'm tapping the table so much today. In that interview there, that was 1996. He was 40 years old there. I'm 44. So in that interview, he was 4 years younger than, well, you're the same age as me, almost, than us. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, I'm looking at my dad and he's younger then than I am now. That's so weird for me. It's so strange. Yeah, 1996, Linda Covington. I'm going to show you a comment, Linda. Listen, I don't know. I don't know if you guys, I keep wanting to make sure I don't miss your super chats, but I do move the screen around, so I don't always see. But I do want to say thank you just to anybody giving super chats, because we do not do ads on this. We turn ad monetization or ad revenue off because we don't want to have to worry about anyone owning us as much as is possible. It's on the platform. But yes, so thank you very much to anybody who's been giving the super chats there. And any if you want to support the ministry, I do. If you look at the top of the screen there.
It'll be on their left-hand side.
Yeah, the scan to give if you. But there's other stuff. And do they see this that I'm seeing? No, they don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can scan to give there if you want to support the ministry. We've just been letting people know that because we do need support, and we're living in a time where that is also changing. I have found that in doing the Reawaken America tour with Clay Clark and General Flynn, and speaking to people like Mike Lindell and seeing what they're doing, it's actually creating a parallel economy, sort of. And we are supporting one another. So instead of, I subscribe to cable news, now I can say, okay, I'm going to support Glenn Beck and Blaze TV, and I'm going to support the House of Destiny Network, that's ours, and Kim Clements' legacy, and I'm going to support this and this and this, like Dan Bongino or whatever. Whoever has been speaking into your life, that's where you need to give, and let God tell you to. You need to keep. We've got to keep with the sacred, this house, because the offering is so sacred. It's not like that.
It is.
That still has to be there, but it's just a new way in which we're doing. It's like when people switched from cash to a check to a card. It's not much different, although there is a lot of apprehension because attached to this monetary system is the mark of the beast stuff. And so it's hard right now for us to navigate. It's like a tightrope, even with us managing this YouTube channel. It's like walking a tightrope.
Yeah.
It's like, and the thing is, if we lose it, we lose it, but we'd rather not lose it.
And giving is
We've
part of
gathered
worship.
together over 300,000 people on the YouTube channel now. We've been working this past year, really on growing Rumble. We were at 26.6 thousand followers on Rumble, and we have a very good, steady viewership there. So it's been really good to connect this way. But remember that, and I'm not just talking about us, I'm talking about all of these different people you see that are stepping out there and taking a chance and giving you information. And even if, we can't trust the media, so we've become the media. We can't trust the leadership, so we're helping one another figure out how do we fix this? How would we put the right people in? And so in order to just be able to to get this together, to share with you and talk to you, it does cost. It's not for free. And so remember that. And I'm not just talking about with our ministry, I'm talking about across the board. That's changing. So change your perception a little bit about that, while keeping it as an offering and something sacred between you and God, because there's something very sacred about that. Not something. It is very sacred that when you make a sacrifice and you give to something, and you want to be sowing your seed into fertile soil and giving what and where God wants you to. And so, like, it's just a slight shift in your perspective of not being in a pew at a church with an offering bucket. And we've all been going online. My dad saw this. He saw the little flames in houses, little living room churches, is what he was seeing when he prophesied this more than a decade ago. Yes. So, is Vivek a plan to sabotage the Republican Party? I do wonder. I'm not sure about Vivek. Look, I like it. Here's what I like about Vivek. He can articulate what Trump doesn't. Trump tends to be kind of rough and the way Trump is, and it's fine. But sometimes, like, you need certain things to be distinguished, like because it ends up getting used against Trump. And so to have someone who can articulate as well as Vivek it would be nice. But is Vivek the right person? I have no idea. I don't know. James O'Keefe. I actually, I don't know who the other Snowden is. That's another one kind of like the Esther. I think we just need to wait on some of these. I think we will know soon, though. I think as I'm watching these prophecies, I feel like within the next 4 years, we're obviously gonna know. But with the other Snowden, I go back and forth with Assange. Just because of WikiLeaks and what happened with Seth Rich. And the 2016 election, it really exposed a lot, and so did Snowden. And I don't like Snowden. Not for anything he's done or not done. I don't like him. I watch him and he irritates me. But that doesn't matter. Again, God used him. Snowden, you were a puppet in the hands of God. That's what my dad prophesied. He said another Snowden would arrive. So I think I look at Julian Assange and you look at that situation in WikiLeaks. But I don't know. I don't know yet. So we've got to pray about this and ask God to reveal it to us. The first Hindu president, I don't think Vivek's going to be president at all. No. Well, he definitely isn't. He's dropped out now and he's endorsed Trump, which I think was very wise of him. Unfortunately, DeSantis does not have that wisdom. Have you guys seen Fetterman?
He dropped out.
Wait, I don't know. Did he drop out?
Yeah.
He dropped out now. It doesn't matter. He's still out there.
He's also supporting Trump.
But he betrayed us. Vivek didn't betray anybody. He was very honest.
Oh, yeah.
But again, not sure because but that's how we feel about everything, isn't it, right now? Just not sure. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's certain things we are sure about, but I mean, it's when I'm saying that I mean the information we're receiving. Am I being deceived? What does this mean? Tucker Carlson's going to go interview Putin. I don't trust Putin. I don't care. Enemy of my enemy is my friend. Whatever. I don't trust Putin. Not one tiny little inch. But I would still go talk to him. Ooh. I don't understand this trying to smother and silence makes people look like they're trying to hide something. Like if you're like, don't you want to know what he's going to say? What Tucker, I know, well, I mean, he's a professional. He's going to ask difficult questions.
Well, it's like Trump was saying, Putin is a very smart guy. And everyone was like, oh, are you liking this guy?
No, he's warning you.
He's
saying your enemy is very clever.
Yeah.
So you better be clever.
But he's not going out and telling them in 5 days we're going to come and attack.
Yes, he was wise though, because what he was doing was like if you ask Trump anytime, well, what would you do about this or that in Ukraine? He said this wouldn't have happened if I was president, because Putin would have known better. Because Putin is kind of like my dad described him as a junkyard dog, I believe, and being released. I know General Flynn told me that the way that Putin is he just takes the way he's thinking is just so different. He just takes whatever he wants. There was the story that General Flynn told me was there was a football player who had his Super Bowl ring, and he went to meet Putin, and Putin wanted to see the ring. He took the ring off. He handed it to Putin. Putin stuck it in his pocket and walked out. What are you going to do? That's what Putin does. So, yeah, not against. I see people are answering about Fetterman. What happened to Fetterman?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he had a stroke and he came out fixed. His wife, I don't know if this is true or not, what happened there, but his wife's X account went away and then came back and she was single, and then it came back and they posted some weird date night. There's so many strange things going on with that guy. I don't know. I don't want to praise him, but
he got in trouble for wearing shorts to the meetings there. That's the last thing I heard about.
No. He's been saying all these things about the border and defending Israel. Oh. And then the pro-Palestinian protesters were outside of his house, and he went up to the roof of his house and was waving the Israeli flag at them. So wow. I don't know. I think we're going to start to see some surprises. That's what I think is going to happen. I think God's going to surprise us. So that's why, and that's part of the that it is too, is like he's not going to, even with prophecy, even with someone like my dad, if you read the Bible, you know, we see through a glass darkly.
The plan is so brilliant. It could only have come from me.
And another thing Dad saw was that it wouldn't come from one denomination, from one ministry, from one movement, that it would be undeniably from God in our unity working with him.
Yeah.
And so that's something we want. We want what God wants, because that's going to be the best. We need to remember that vengeance belongs to him. And so, yeah, I know Fetterman's another one of these. Hello, Wendy Galindo. I haven't seen your name in so long. You know, I used to work in my dad's office, and when I was a teenager and years back, even into my 20s, and I did a lot of data entry because we didn't have, we didn't have the technology we have now. And I used to type in everybody's name who gave to the ministry, and then we would, if someone gave an offering, we would send them their tax form at the end of the year. So I did that. And I remember your name, Wendy. Welcome. But yes, Mike Johnson says, I'm going to show your comment here. Mike Johnson, he says he had a stroke and became a Republican. Awesome. Now his wife's freaking out. See, God works in mysterious ways, and you just never know. So that's why we need to also keep it in our hearts about forgiveness and redemption, so that when people do wake up, and I've been saying this whole time, we talk about wake up, wake up, wake up. Part of the waking up is, for a lot of people, it just has to touch them in some way or another, this system. And then something has to disrupt them in a way that they say, maybe I should have another look at this. Yeah. What's wrong here? Let me reevaluate. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
And don't just follow because it tickles your ears.
Yes, don't let your ears be tickled. Don't let your ears be tickled. I'm not about that. I don't like tickling ears. You'll find, well, you guys all know that, you know me. I mean, you've been with me here.
We know.
We've been doing this for a while now. You guys are getting to know me. So I just want to check quickly. Oh, let me just mirror one more time. We have to go. But I'm going to mirror one more time. I never got to the emails. No, I'm not going to mirror. There is an email I need to read. I'm pulling it up here. I'm not going to show you my emails, but I'll read it to you guys. Is this it? It was a physical mail. It came in an actual letter in the mail. Marie, you wrote to me about your son, a schizophrenic on meth, called from a mental hospital in Oklahoma asking to get in touch with me. And he needs prayer and help. He can't take it anymore, and he wants his life back. It's the meth that caused the schizophrenia. But it is believed that he was already bipolar since a child. Flipped over the edge at the end of 2020. Please pray for me, for him, and God's divine healing and restoration. Now, I read through a lot of these emails. I am praying for all of you. I spent all week reading through these emails. And this one in particular has not left me. Marie, I hope that you can see this. I hope you're watching, because this came in the physical mail. Like, it wasn't an email. It came in. She wrote this in a letter and sent it. Now they copied it into the email for me to read. But I have a burden for your son, Marie, and I have been praying for him all week. And I just want you to know that. I have a theory about schizophrenia, which I won't repeat because it's very loose. But I had some strange experiences when I was young, and I decided to go ghost hunting at an abandoned mental institution. Lou knows, he was with me. This is many years ago now. Now we're going back decades. But we heard about this. If you've ever heard of Hotel California, the song Hotel California, there's actually a mental hospital that song is about. And a lot of Hollywood people used to go to rehab at this place because it was quite nice. It was its own little town. And at the time, it was quite far from neighborhoods and where people were living, kind of off close to the beach in California. Newbury Park in particular is where we were. But it's close to the beach and difficult terrain. It's in the mountains. So to get there, you have to drive up and down and around this mountain. And then you get to the bottom and you see it's this huge complex with all these buildings. And it was a mental institution. Yes, strumming. I was a Ghostbuster. Lou was with me.
Yeah.
We were being naughty. His dad, you remember your dad, what your dad said to me? His dad's a preacher.
Devils are gonna-
And his dad, I said to his dad, "Oh, it's all in good fun, you know, nothing's going to happen." He said, "You better watch out. Not one of those things don't follow you home."
Yeah. They
And
attach
something
themselves.
about when he said that struck my spirit, and I realized, and we did see some pretty bad stuff. Like, we would go ghost hunting, so we were trespassing, which means
Because they've made
we
it
were
into a
breaking the
college now.
law.
They've made it. There's a part of it that was becoming a college, right?
Yes, no,
Yes.
they've completely renovated the whole place now. If you go there now, it's an extension of UCLA,
Yeah.
UC Berkeley, something, one of them. And the reason we found out about it was because my sister was taking marine biology classes at the community college, and they were using. She was going to that because they'd already renovated some of the buildings on the property, and so she was going there to do her marine biology classes. Jacqueline, who's in the chat, she can actually. Jacqueline, if you're still there, you can probably comment into the YouTube chat. Anybody on YouTube? Hotel California, that's right. And that song is written about that place. So my husband and I and some of our friends, Lou, my sister Jacqueline, Jacqueline was taking the classes and she told me they said this place is haunted. So we're like, haunted. So we go over there, we have a look, and it's all these abandoned buildings, old abandoned buildings. And then I ended up reading books written by two nurses, one when the hospital was first opened and then one like 50 years later before they closed it. How bad it got there. People were going crazy. There was something
They had
very
a
demonic
children's ward
happening over there.
We
They had
saw
the
them
children were,
painting on the wall with the toys on the floor.
they sent the most violent criminals there because it was so secluded a location that if they were to escape or something, it would be very difficult for them to get to where neighborhoods, people, civilization were. And so it was easy to sort of I was, and I have a bit of I'm Kim Clement's daughter. Of course I was a rebel. Someone says you're such a rebel. I know I did. I snuck in. We broke the law.
Well, what my dad was.
We didn't get caught, but we broke the law.
Yeah, we did.
We trespassed. Should I say it?
What my dad was actually saying.
CSUCI, Jacqueline said. CSUCI.
He was saying that, you know what, when you're born again, the devil cannot possess you.
No.
But they can attach themselves to you, and
you can open yourself up, and this is the point I'm getting to with this.
And then you start blaming God and saying, God,
No.
why is this happening? Meanwhile, it's you that's gone into this.
You know that my dad actually was there.
Mm.
Jacqueline had something. Jacqueline, you need to comment again in the comments, because Jacqueline had something that we went through. Were you getting an award? What was it, Jackie? And Mom and Dad went to that place. And this is before we did the ghost hunting. I'll never forget the moment. I think we had maybe snuck in there once or twice already. But Dad, I'll never forget it. I parked and I was walking down. It's a very beautiful facility. It's big and beautiful, big trees, and it's right by the beach. And I walked down and I could see my dad. I'll just never forget it. It was nothing happened. I'll just never forget the feeling. I had on a long dress and I walked down and I was standing under the tree and I looked up to look for my parents, and I saw my dad up on the hill, and he turned around and looked at me. The wind caught my dress, and I just got a feeling, and I've never forgotten. I don't know what it is. I don't know any more than that. He and I never talked, because by the time I'd walked all the way up the hill, I was out of breath. I was like, oh, let's sit down, let's get some food. And I'd forgotten about it. But afterwards, that moment that I stood under the tree and we looked at each other, I'll never forget it. But we actually saw things happened.
They filmed a horror movie there.
I know. And what the
well
the well in the movie The Ring.
The Ring, yes.
So if you've ever seen that horror movie The Ring, the well that is in that movie is the well from this place.
Yeah.
So we did sneak in a few times and we filmed this, although I don't know where the footage is of this, but we did actually film it and we have it on camera. And it's me and a group of a bunch of our friends. We were young, in our 20s, early mid 20s. We're walking through a dark room, and somebody that was with us is our friend Jacob, who actually is no longer with us. He passed away. Jacob Daney.
Mm-hmm.
But he was saying, hey, if there's he's joking. We were joking around. We don't believe this is actually anything. It's all kind of a joke, just the thrill of it, you know? We don't think anything's actually going to happen. And we had heard like tapping on pipes, and he's sort of like, he was talking to the ghost. He said, well, if you're if this is real, then do something else and prove it to us. And so we kept walking, and my husband was behind us filming everything. And I'm in the groups. In the video, you see me in the front and then a group of our friends, and we're walking like this through the room. And all of a sudden, it's completely abandoned. And it was abandoned with just papers on the floor and furniture just knocked over
Toys
and
still
things,
there.
broken windows and everything. And we're walking, and all of a sudden, the light turned on, just all on its own. And I was in front. I was in the front. I don't know how that happened, but I was in the front, and I actually saw the light switch flip up on its own because I could see to my left, and I actually saw the light switch go up, and I looked up, and we all in the video, we all went, whoa. And it was like, that's something. A number of other things happened. I had taken my dog there once because it was a lovely area. You could let the dogs run around. So the boxers I was telling you about earlier, Bubba, I took him, and he would not go. He freaked out and actually pulled himself out of his collar, which he shouldn't have been able to pull himself out of that collar. He was so scared, he pulled himself out of the collar and ran off. And I had to go get him.
We've got to believe, as much as we believe God is real, the devil's just as real. So
oh, yes.
We've got to be
so
very
let that be a
careful.
warning, you guys. I was playing with fire there. I shouldn't have been
Well,
playing
we
with.
do become very lackadaisy as pastors' kids.
Mm.
Like when we grew up in the church, we grew up in the move of the Spirit. We grew up in the move of the supernatural. We were so used to it, being a part of, like Donna in the prophetic, my grandparents and
the apostolic and healing, yes.
We were so used to it. We've seen people be delivered from demons.
We've
So
seen
we
healing
knew-
like
we knew
amazing.
how real it was.
Demonic possession.
But that's how the devil is so cunning in what he does, especially with pastors' kids. And if he can do it to a pastor's kids who's grown up in this, he can definitely do someone who doesn't know anything about it. 'cause
Someone
he's
who's
so
completely
subtle, 'cause
ignorant.
it's
Because
like,
we weren't ignorant. Because I knew immediately to
We
pray
knew
in that
what it- we
moment.
knew
I
what it
bind you, and
was.
then. But
Yes.
you like,
but
had
when
I
you put
not
yourself
been
in
there,
that situation,
we did that was foolish because there
It
were
was
other
foolish.
things that happened afterwards. I
Yeah.
don't have time to go into the whole. It's very kind of a long story, but people are talking about schizophrenia here, so I think that's something we're going to pray about this week. Pray for people who are suffering from schizophrenia, because a lot of this, I really don't trust the World Health Organization and the doctors and big pharma, and I just. Oh, that was the thing I was going to share just before I go. Now I'm going to share this part. Is what I discovered about commercials for medication on TV, especially the news. You'll notice you'll be watching Fox News even. I don't watch Fox News
It's not
anymore.
just
I won't
on
give them my
Fox,
views.
it's on Peacock, it's on everywhere.
Yes, but you'll be watching, and then you'll get a commercial for some prescription. It's prescription medication I'm talking about, and you think, why am I getting a commercial for medication? Shouldn't the doctor who went to school for a gazillion years
tell you to
know
ask your
what
doctor
medication
about.
I need? I don't want to go tell the doctor what medication I need. I need the doctor to be telling me. It's just the whole concept of it I never understood. And then they give you a list of side effects. And it's like, oh, all these things, possibly death.
Yeah.
And then it's like medicine for heartburn, and I'm like, well, I'd rather have the heartburn than take that list of risks. Like, why are you advertising this to me? Well, Tucker Carlson did an interview with this guy from Big Pharma, and he explained it. Those commercials aren't for us.
I was shocked when you told me this.
Those commercials are not for us. They're not to advertise to us. How many of you have actually gone to your doctor and asked for any of those medications? Truly. I bet you it's not many. Those commercials give a lot of money to the news media, right? To run the ads. So they'll pay whatever news channel, a ton of money to run those ads. And the whole goal is because then the news media won't do any journalism on them, won't investigate them, because they give too much money to their network. It's funding, it's paying Tucker Carlson's salary when he was there, and whoever else was Hannity, paying their salaries. So they want to be able to keep paying those salaries, so they keep taking the money and from the pharmaceutical companies, and that gives them control over the media and the narrative about them. Man, that was a very eye-opening for me. So I think we've been going a while now. We better wrap it up for the day, but let me just go through a couple of things I don't want to forget. So as you can see at the bottom of the screen here, there's a text option. You can text the word code breakers to the number 43965 on your phone. So if you don't want to give a super chat or you don't want to do anything, if you do want to support this show and the House of Destiny Network, which is the legacy of Kim Clement, my dad, one way that you can do that is by texting. And I think that's the easiest way. There's so many different ways. We have a ton of ways. So if you want to use that QR code, if you don't feel comfortable with QR codes, we're fine.
Texting is very easy because you just put the number in, and then in the comment section you type code breakers. Wait a few seconds. No, you just wait a few seconds, and then you'll get a text back saying, what amount would you like to give? It can be anywhere from $3, $1, and up. And you just put the amount in, and then it will do it for you.
Yes.
It'll give you the options of how to do it.
Okay. So if God is telling you that this is fertile soil that you'd like to sow into, that's one way that you can do that, or you can do a super chat there. Also, I've got lots of things they give me a list of things that I can't forget to tell you guys because you need to know. We all through the week, House of Destiny Network. Tomorrow is Monday, and I will be releasing Prophetic Rewind. I already gave you a little sample. We're going back to 1996, where Paul and Jan Crouch interviewed my dad and Lance Wallnau. I don't know if you guys noticed Lance was in that video. And Lance Wallnau on TBN. Oh my goodness, there's super chats. Thank you, guys. Let me just show you guys. Thank you so much for doing that, because like I told you, we don't monetize this. I just do the show for free. There we go. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. God bless you. Thank you. So I am going to be playing that on Prophetic Rewind today. I'm so excited about it. And Tuesday, Real Life, Real Faith. That's a new show we started just in the last year. And it's a talk show. And it's really, really good. Just dealing with day-to-day, everyday issues, that we all face. And it is coming from people who from various different people who can give you insight. It's really good. And then Wednesdays, we have a midweek church service with our dear Pastor Michael Fachuda, was a dear friend of my dad's and truly a pastor, a good pastor. Thank you, Judy. And then Thursday, Charlie Jordan has started a show this past year as well, called Prophetic Perspectives. And let me tell you, you want to hear what Charlie has to say, because Charlie, anytime you see my dad prophesying, you'll see the black man playing the bass guitar behind him. That's Charlie Jordan. And he was prophesying with my dad. It was quite extraordinary, the relationship they had. And he can share on the prophetic at a level I can't, because of his experience with it and with my dad that I didn't get. So I had a different experience than Charlie. So we're giving you his prophetic perspective, which is awesome. And so that is on Thursdays at the House of Destiny Network. So I told you before, you can go to your app store, type House of Destiny, and you will find our app. It's white with a little house and a red flame, and white and red. And you can watch right from the app. And if you have a Roku TV, you can download the app on the Roku TV and Apple TV and watch. Because I watch a lot of like YouTube and Rumble on my TV. I don't actually, because my eyes are bad, I don't watch on these smaller screens. I actually watch on TV.
It's very easy to do it on your Roku or on Apple TV. It's basically like a YouTube. So when you open the app on your TV, you will see all the different broadcasts that we have, and you just click on it and you scroll down. You can pick any video that you want to watch.
Someone's saying here, rapper 50 Cent backing 45. I'm happy to see that, because my dad prophesied about 50 Cent, but he also, Angela Snowden, thank you so much.
It's a 5th super chat.
Is it? You see, I've been actually not paying attention to these when I do this every week, and I'm not realizing. So I'm doing that today. I'm going to make sure you guys I say thank you to you, because it really does help. We're not a big, huge, fancy ministry. We are very frugal, and we're having to be very careful, because a lot of what my dad prophesied was so controversial, and it's That also makes things a bit difficult. But I'm sorry, I'm reading your texts as well, your
On
messages in
Rumble,
chat.
Andy,
I'm missing Rumble here.
Andy Goat
Andy
is
Goat.
now a monthly supporter.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that leads me to the next thing I was going to tell you. I almost forgot. Okay, so we had partnerships, which is basically like a subscription, like how you would have, but this is going back years and years. My dad had partnerships where you could partner with the ministry if you, there had different things you could support, like Boots on the Ground, Israel, things like that. But, those partner programs kind of became outdated. So we had to sort of start to phase that out. And we're building a new partner program so that people can partner with our ministry. And one of the things that we've been working on is the prophecy database. So what I noticed was, because that prophecy database was put together over decades. And sometimes you'll find if you go in there and read a transcription, it'll be a transcription of the entire broadcast, not just the prophecy, which can get confusing because it's a prophecy database. And I just didn't realize that's what was going on. And so we're having to very slowly and meticulously go through every single prophecy in 40 years of transcription. But we're making sure that it's only what was prophesied so that that is clear. Because I don't want to be saying, we don't want it's a prophecy. We're assuming people understand that.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's not so clear. So we've done that, but we're also going to have it set up really nicely to where when you go in, it'll be something like a library, and then you click the book with the year, maybe something like that, and then it'll open up to that particular year, and then you have the transcription. But now what we want to do is have a clip of only what was prophesied, so it's not a long video, but embedded right there too, so that you can read the transcription of only the prophecy, not the whole broadcast where he's having conversations and maybe just the prophecy. You can click a video and watch him if we don't have it on video, because we do have years and years of audio when he was going to churches, but people weren't filming nobody had iPhones and things. So churches couldn't always facilitate the filming, but we would record him on cassette tape and then later on DVD. So if we don't have video of it and we have audio, then we can create an audio file, which will be a video with transcript. So it's taking us a while to put it together because it is a huge undertaking and we're a small staff. But this is what we're working on. So do keep your eye on looking, because we're going to be then able to do this is something people in the emails were asking about, was the School of the Prophets. That will be a part of that too. We're redoing all of that. We kind of re-released it, but
there's a lot of your dad's teachings that they've already started working on.
Yes. So we're really working on that, because a huge thing that was a very big deal to my dad was people understanding what the prophetic is, and how to apply it to your own life. This is a gift of the Holy Spirit, and how can you apply it to your life without having to be, because look, it's not easy being a prophet. Doing what my dad did was not easy. It was not easy on our family. I'm not complaining though. It's awesome. It's just completely unique and different, and not easy for my dad being the prophet. So Bonnie here says, I have a son that is schizophrenic. He's in jail waiting for sentencing. Please pray he doesn't go to prison, but to a hospital setting. Please, Lord Jesus, please help him. No prison for him. Please get him help. Be there for him. I don't understand that last comment about the cursing. I don't know what that. I'm not trying to curse anybody.
On Rumble, Teo22.
Oh, I see that. $10. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys.
For the Sunday lives, we love you.
Oh, thanks. That means so much. Okay, I suppose we should. Oh my gosh, we've been going an hour and a half. I have to stop. I have to go. My kids have to go to school tomorrow. I've got to go now. I'll finish the laundry and pack the lunches and make sure everybody gets bathed. I've got to cut my son's hair. That's the kind of stuff I'm going to go do now. But I do thank you for joining me this week. Next week, it will be Amanda Grace. And I'm so excited. And we're going to talk about the Esther prophecy. But there's other stuff too. There's a lot her and I have to talk about. So she has agreed to join us next week. And so next week, it'll be me and Amanda Grace here. So if you guys have questions for Amanda Grace, you can email them to Codebreakers at houseofdestiny.org. There it is right there.
And like, follow, and subscribe to this channel.
Oh, yes.
And get notifications when we are live.
I never remember that stuff. Thank you. Thank you,
You're
buddy,
welcome.
for helping. Okay, I covered everything. I better go. I could stay here all day with you guys,
Yeah.
but I have to go. So I am going to be praying. You know what? Everybody pray about the schizophrenia thing. God's put it on my heart. He brought it to my attention. Just a terrible pain in my heart over that boy. The lady wrote, and then she wrote that in, wrote a letter in. And so I hope that she sees this somehow, and that she knows that we are praying for him. And he wanted to get a hold of me. And there was something about that got to me. Maybe I should go find him. Marie, let me know where he is. I'll go visit him. Okay. All right, everybody. I'll be back next week with Amanda Grace. Let's keep praying, keep believing, keep the faith, stay strong. We're going to be okay, because God's plan, well, that's the best plan. Oh, I do need to take things away. Okay, it's going to take me a second to actually leave you guys. Oh, I've got to turn the ticker off. Ticker. QR. Design. Okay. We'll see you guys next week. This one and then that one. Okay. Oh.
Celebrate the new year, we're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
The House of Destiny are partnering with you to let our viewers, of course, know about your company. It's Beverly Hills Precious Metal.
Andrew, explain how that works.
So I'll walk you through it right now. So if you go to bh-pm.com, right there on the homepage, you'll see a form that you could fill out. And that form is very important in letting us know how we can help you. So you just put in your first name, last name, email address, phone number. There's a section that says, how did you hear about us? And in there, put Kim Clement. And then there's a portion where you could write a couple of notes down on the bottom. Usually within about 24 to 48 hours, we'll contact you, and then by phone call, and then we'll go over everything with you. This isn't a high pressure deal. We always recommend that if you feel uncomfortable, take a step back, pray about it. You will gain the answers that you need by doing that, and come back to us when you're comfortable.